Coach Ducky going to start closing in on that. Take out the Bruno. Maybe even take out another Brody, something like that. Definitely a possibility. CW does do wonderful on it. On the side of ONIC, they don't think this Arlet's going to be an EXP laner, huh?
There's an Arlet, there's a Gwyn, right? Both can be flexed. So ONIC are like, you know what? That gave us a lot of problems, right? Let's ban that out from the get-go now. Take it away from Mr. Flap.
I mean, AP BREN literally played the Phoveus mid lane last time, and they played it wonderfully. I would not put anything past them at this point, but looking at ONIC also, the Novaria, I mean, it's not done very often, but it could be flexed over to the roam position. I mean, you know ID a little bit more. Do we ever really see Keyboy play something on the more support side?
We have. Multiple times. You know, the Novaria even, it was, I believe, once in MPL Indonesia, but he plays a lot of the supports, even the Rafaela, back when it was meta. Yeah, that's how flexible he's been, right? He can use the healers, but also, that has just been banned away. No one moment, one win anymore.
That was when we were, again, talking about, like, what is the win condition? Let's imagine here, well, that hero right there. Just take it out of the picture. It's handled. Paquito also still taken out, focusing on that XP lane against AP BREN here. ONIC still trying to get this favorable matchup if they can. Now, one thing, too, is you guys talked about it, right? Really that kind of double mage setup. If the Novaria does go in the roam, and then you can still provide something in the mid lane, you know, exactly what would that be? The fact that Valentina's taken out here, you have to work around that. Minotaur, though, going to be locked in for AP BREN for that 4th pick.
I almost feel like maybe they didn't plan on putting the Arla, or if they did put it in mid, it was going to be flex. Coach Yeb's like, listen, either you're going to play that in the mid, or you're going to have a terrible EXP matchup. And they possibly force Ducky's hand into picking up the Minotaur because they don't want to have Novaria and whatever other mid they choose. They don't want to have Nolan deal with the disruption of, you know, of the R-Lot on the mid side.
And this Minotaur was one of the reasons as to how AP BREN was able to beat ONIC in the group stages of SPS.
Yeah, it can do work, of course. You know, it's in a similar fashion, you also provide some sustainability. But here's one of the answers, right, for these tanky heroes. The carry's going to be locked in and rounded out with a Grok.
Wow.
Very interesting pickups here from ONIC.
They can't go for a 5-man implosion. Now they'll go for a 5-man knockup, maybe.
Yeah.
Big knockup, big damage. They have some early game potential. They have their late game covered. They have vision. They have the whole package here. On the side of AP BREN, once again, very aggressive. Very aggressive, but in my mind, I feel like ONIC has a lot of answers to what AP BREN is bringing.
Part of this, too, is the fact that, you know, I like the Grok, not only because you're looking for wild charges, and how many wild charges have we seen actually secure objectives, right? That's one factor in it, because it adds this dynamic, too. When the Lord is up, you're already watching for one knock-up. Now you got to watch out for the wild charge, right? But also, it's a good peeling effect. Oh, here we go again.
Once again.
AP BREN pulls through with an Odette pick.
Okay, so me and Gideon were brainstorming this a lot the day that Odette got picked up.
Yep.
And a lot of it was, okay, it helps against a lot of heroes like the Joy, like the Nolan, because here's the thing. It's not, it supplies something that the Yve or the Farza could supply in a sense of zoning, but it's constant damage. You don't have to aim it. And she has the dash. She has a way to kind of dash back from the Nolan. And as long as their marksman can kind of hang out in that space, it is a very safe and free space to just unload.
Great insights once again here on both drafts as we get loaded and ready once again to head into game number 2. ONIC with a miracle play, able to take game 1 in the series, the best of 5 against AP BREN. Despite all their efforts in game 1, how will AP BREN adjust to even out the series 1-1 here as we get prepped and ready to see the series unfold one step closer to achieving that golden road for ONIC here? Looks like we're going to take a little...
There's a lot going on. Even Mobile Legends can't handle it right now.
Okay, into the land of dawn. Game 2 ahead of us. ONIC versus AP BREN. It's 1-0 for ONIC right now. You can already see the pressure from Keyboy.
Doing some damage. Oh, a flicker as well. Burnt out by Keyboy here. But I do want to talk a little bit more about this Odette. In the matchup that we saw previously when Few picked this up, the Odette was also picked up against the carry. So now it's an assassin and a carry, right? Two very, very vulnerable targets for the Odette to catch.
Yeah, definitely very vulnerable. Carry has to try to move in, right? So it's definitely not going to be Carry's job to deal with Few. Taking a look at the emblems, nothing too out of the ordinary. Boots going for the same exact setup as last time. CW does pick up a nice defensive emblem there. Make sure that if Carry needs to, it can kind of survive a little bit of a gank there. Taking a look at these items, CW as well doesn't go for the boots, whereas Super Marco does. Super Marco also going to pick up, going to go straight into possibly the defensive boots there. So a slightly different route than normal.
Okay, speaking of, they already get the flicker out from Few, right? Putting the pressure there. Sans takes a shot, Ogren's going to block it, but you see how this time around, because Kyrie has this type of lineup to work around this Nolan pick, it allows him to farm up pretty confidently. He is a little bit ahead of Kyle Tizia as well right now, right? So Turtle's going to be up here in just a couple seconds. They'll both get a position. A lot of these still trying to get that level 4, the ultimate's available. That's why they're parking themselves in the XP lane. Both junglers lead into the Turtle.
Clear up top a bit faster for ONIC. Kaltizi looking for the setup as well, but Keyboy just pops in at Power of Nature. And a wild charge, and Keyboy gets the Turtle as well.
Wow!
Game number 1, it was 2 kills and a Turtle over to AP BREN. Game number 2 starts off with ONIC doing the same thing.
That is a big switch up from what we saw last time. This time ONIC bringing the aggression. You can tell their morale is up. I mean, after winning a game like the last one, you gotta feel good about themselves. ONIC definitely in their zone right now. AP BREN need to try to kind of get things back into the groove. It's not too huge of a loss, but it is already 2K in the first 3 minutes.
The thing about it too, Super Marco is going to have the pressure here, but you know, when you're talking about the mid lane picks and you're talking especially about Sans here, the Novaria, his track record on this Novaria is insane. His success rate is very good, but not only that, the fact that the way that he plays it to the point where, yes, you're topping the damage meter, you're topping, you know, you're farming up really, really well here, but also the vision that's usually on point allows this.
Wild charge flicker combo into the fracture. Kyrie gets rid of Few, and that's another combo together. Ogwen wall down, but ONIC, they'll take this win. 4-0 Sans, canceling out the recall. Keyboy looking for an angle once again to maybe cancel another recall, but Ogwen just stays behind that turret. We'll try to facilitate Flapteezy's way back to clear this wave.
Take a look at the junglers right now. Kyrie with a 1,300 gold lead already. He's got the Hunter strike in. Whereas when we take a look at Kyle Teasy, he's got practically nothing on his side.
That's a wall down. Super Marco gonna be caught, pinched down right now with a lot of damage coming through. Kyrie will be able to give CW the kill down below. The entire turret shield as well into an Astral Sphere and an Astral Echo, revealing Ogwen and Fuse, zoning them away for CW once again to farm up and shove the wave back to the turret.
And putting the pressure once again. Sans is just on point so far. Even with the lead that he's garnered himself, right? 2-0-3 on the Novaria allows him to continue to do this. Just kind of siege from, you know, the safety, from distance. That's why the Novaria is so great. But as I was saying before that fight even broke out, you know, the ability to provide vision allows even Kyrie to rotate a lot more confidently. And even Keyboy, the fact that he picked up this Croc, at this point, he's just walking vision, right? He's one of those vision getters.
He's a getter vision.
He's a getter of the vision.
And another great thing about Keyboy, why he can do this so well is when he pops that first kill, he's immune to the CC, right? So he can go into the enemy jungle without fear of the magic sum, without fear of getting knocked up. And as long as he has Sans sitting in the back lane behind him, he knows he's good. I mean, he's
take the long way.
Disgusting.
He's making Flapteezy walk to his base.
You don't get the recall. You have to walk. That's what Keyboy does. So with that, again, this is very different from the previous game, right? You're talking about now the 5 minutes in, almost 5,000 gold ahead, and you can see just how strong they are in the lanes, right? Super Marco doing a relatively, trying to keep up as much as he can, but still the pressure being put through every single lane right now as they go on.
All right, so 5K gold lead for ONIC right now. AP BREN cannot find an opening. I think they know, all right, let's take this slow. We're pretty much going to try to pull an ONIC this game. But ONIC has a composition that scales so well into the late game with CW, with Sans, with the amount of vision they can have overall. Taking a look at the item, CW has got the Scythe in. He's got the golden wand in. He's 2/3 of the way to the Holy Trinity, and it's going to be trouble once he locks that in because the rest of his team is,
Spatial migration, Valor Requiem, and the Swan Song onto Keyboy.
Wow.
Final slash as well, but Keyboy gets out with a wild charge. That was Kyrie into the back of Fracture, not getting him just yet. Minute Fury, Flicker combo, Boots with the penalty zone. Distracting the back line, open, barely dodging away from that last hit, but CW's rotating over already now. Immobilized under the turret, Boots taken low right now. Vengeance comes down with the Astral Echo with a few more hits. CW finds the kill under the tier 1 of AP BREN.
ONIC Esports goes from getting caught off guard to completely responding, finding a kill, and almost a tower for themselves.
Oh, Keyboy.
Are going to be able to make it another one?
That's a knock-up, but Keyboy's still chasing. He's chasing.
He's hungry.
Few gets the dash. Super Marco gets Few out, but all that, while that was happening, ONIC took what?
Whoa!
Keyboy with a wall onto Few.
You cannot recall right now if you're AP BREN because there's a gator hunting you down.
Final slash in the Valor Requiem, but Keyboy just charges wildly back.
He's not even stressed about it. Keyboy's like, it's okay, you can knock me up for a second, I'm good. I just wild charge away. No problems.
And now, ONIC are at their average.
This is the average, right? But now it's only 7 minutes in. It's kind of crazy to think about what that gold average is that they have leading into M5, now the 8.4K ahead. And it's flipped around. It's weird, right? You're 7-0.
Is this what these games are going to be, essentially? We're just going to go back and forth, each team starting the game off with a 10K gold lead.
And then one moment that changes everything.
Is that the possibility here?
That is a possibility.
It's one moment.
It's one moment.
If you had.
Shout out.
Moment.
Shout out
One
to Yasu.
shot.
All right, taking a look at the items once again. Few just getting that first item in. This is a problem, right?
This is.
We saw the same thing from AP BREN last time, but I would argue that AP BREN has a slightly worse composition to try to pull off what ONIC did last time. And AP BREN didn't have the scaling capabilities that ONIC has this time. CW is just getting involved into these team fights. It's only been a few minutes, and now that they're grouped up, now that they're ready to push in, it's going to present more and more of a problem.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it too, right? The fact that we talked so much about this Odette pick, but unfortunately for the game, it's really just been stopped, right? You really haven't been able to see the Swan Song do anything just yet. You see AP BREN dealing with the siege from a distance, and once again, why that Novaria pick was so great. It was so crucial for the game plan here for ONIC as they approach this game. Even with that, right, you need, when we looked at the comparison, as this Lord is just going to be taken uncontested for ONIC, when you looked at the comparison, right, the lineup power was in favor of AP BREN.
Yep.
But they have not been able to execute the lineup that they've drafted. Again, looking at Novaria here, this is why teams love this hero, and they pick it up, not only for the vision, but the insane damage early on from safety, essentially.
Yeah, and the vision just supplies so much. I mean, especially when you have a lead overall, that is when you can really just start to get the noose around the neck, right? That is when you can really just start to keep AP BREN exactly where you want them at all times. ONIC really starting to close in now.
Wow.
Gonna try to take this tier 2, and AP BREN can do nothing about it.
Rose Gold Meteor built up for CW as well, so if the Swan Song does get utilized into the back, get CW, he'll still be able to survive it. 3-man Astral Echo as the Lord marches down bottom lane. This time with the first Lord looking for a one-base turret. Final slash flicker combo. Not going to be able to connect right now. CW free hits. Keyboy in the back. This might be the zone into the wild charge. Keyboy taking low. Swan Song and the Minus Fury. Boots caught in enemy territory. 1v4, but the Lord was able to deal with the base turret. Now Super Marco's chasing Boots, but Boots is unkillable. He just walks out of there.
The body of Smith. The BOS.
The body of Boots.
The body of
Bob.
Boots. The Bob. That's what worked there. The Bob.
I have to say, still almost worth it, honestly, for ONIC. At this point, when you're that far ahead, you can toss a body under the tower as long as you get the tower. ONIC, if they want to try to close this out quick, they have to make sure those towers go down. Kyrie just stole the orange buff?
Yes, he did.
Looks like it. He's having a much better game this time around. Kyle Teasy, on the flip side, struggling this time, right? Even with the same pick. But really, it's that lineup. It's the lineup difference here for ONIC this time around, and now they're the ones, right? With the 13,000 gold lead. So really, if you're trying to think about it as they get ready, is ONIC the team to just go ahead, slowly kind of whittle down the defensive of AP BREN here until that next Lord? And at the same time, they still have the tools to actually force a fight, even if it's just Sans. Give them the vision, poking them down like that.
Oh my God. He gets out very, very close. Are you telling me ONIC want to go for the siege without a Lord? That they do in the mid lane. Base are going to be taken down. Boots, penalty zone, locking him down. Wild charge, Keyboy flickering back. CW melted Ogwen. And now it's Kai with a fracture of His Fury. Even onto the blazing new evidence. A double kill for Kyrie, and Super Marco is forced back. Flap TZ falls. Game number 1, they ended it in 23 minutes. Game number 2, they're looking for the end in the 11th minute. No mini waves, they have to back up. Super Marco defending with 1 H1 member. 11-1, what the heck?
Another what the heck moment for ONIC. A drastic difference from game 1, calm and collected.
Wow.
They ended quickly, 2-0 in the series.
The stadium is filling up by the minute. More and more people are flooding in to watch this series. ONIC wins game 1 in 22. They cut that in half for game number 2, 11 minutes. They did not pull what AP BREN folded last game.